Thanks for tuning in today and welcome to Talk of the Town, the Mount Airy interview series focused on our small businesses and local leaders. I'm Donna Marie Needle, local realtor with Northrop Realty and the ambassador and sponsor of parkbench.com, a site that is geared towards spotlighting Mount Airy and to advocate shopping local, buying local, and eating local. I'm here today with Jeff Baer, owner of Concetta's Mainstreet Bistro, located at 231 South Main Street in the heart of historic downtown Mount Airy. I'm so excited to be here with Jeff today and so he can give you some information about why you should head down to Concetta's.
Hi, Donna Marie. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm just excited to have you. Concetta's is known for great authentic Italian and Jewish cuisine, also other types of dishes as well. And Jeff rivals my grandfather's homemade meatballs. And of course, the rainbow cookies that, I love so much. So my family growing up in New York, I don't know. Sometimes people around here don't know what any of that means, but we can teach them that.
We're trying to educate them for sure.
Exactly. But I digress. Let's talk directly to Jeff about his awesome bistro. And I'll just go ahead and start with my questions. So describe your business, Jeff, for us and our audience.
I've been in business since 2008. It's a quaint little spot, like Don Marie said, downtown Mount Airy, and I'm on the end of the old firehouse building. What attracted me to the business was that I always thought that this particular spot would be a neat place for a cafe or a bistro. And of course, it was a lot of different things before it was ever any kind of restaurant. So my vision was to have something available in town that no one else offered, and whether it be the meatballs, or whether it be potato lockies, or whether it be lox and bagels, which you can't really get anywhere else, or any of one of our what we call Concetta's exclusives that we sell a lot of, barbecue shrimp guacamole, or even our famous meatball sub. It's a really interesting business, and I joined this with my wife, may she rest in peace, and she passed away in 2013, and I've been going on, and we've been doing very well. It's a very nice business. I enjoy what I do immensely. Of course, the last 3 years have been kind of a challenge and has made me reevaluate some things, but nonetheless, I'm still here and I'm still very gung-ho.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you kind of hit the nail on the head in terms of like the cuisine that we're not used to around here. When I first moved to Mount Airy, to find, bagels and lox, a really good bagel was, I had to go to Silver Spring or somewhere in Baltimore. So it's really nice to have those kinds of options that you offer. So what has influenced your love of cooking and the type of dishes that you offer?
Well, my parents were Jewish, and so I had three Jewish grandmothers. So you can imagine, my grandparents got divorced when my mom was quite young. Anyway, so you can imagine the weekends and the holidays sat there watching all these women cook, including my mother. And I was kind of a latchkey kid. I was a third of three, and my parents were always out or doing something. They were great parents. They just always out. So I kind of had to cook for myself from the beginning. And I always enjoyed the food that I made for myself. So, I used to say to my wife, I'd open up a sandwich that I made, and I said, look, I can sell this at a restaurant. And she would just say, oh, sure, you could, Jeff. We'll see whatever happens with that, But I think I was influenced mostly by my mother and my grandmothers, but we also had a housekeeper who was an African-American woman who brought a lot of Southern cuisine into our house. So I learned how to make really good fried chicken, and I'd learned how to make some amazing potato salad and different things that I haven't necessarily incorporated into my store, but I have taken a lot of pride and some recipes and doctored them up and then tried to make them work in my store.
Awesome. So how did your business get started and why the name Concetta's?
Okay, well, the former owner, may she rest in peace, her name was Judy Turner, and she opened Concetta's, I think it was in 2005, and her grandmother's name was Concetta, and the story was there was somewhere in Pennsylvania in a small town, they had a store on the bottom and an apartment on top. And evidently Judy grew up going to that store when she was a kid. So when she had the opportunity, she took my idea, like I was just saying, in the spot, and she opened up a little cafe, and her specialty was like meatballs and Italian cold cuts. So I was a good customer of hers, and I used to come all the time. And when I heard it was for sale, I kind of jumped on the opportunity. But Concetta was going to be a name that I was going to maybe try to lose, but as time went on, there was no way. We're just known as Concetta's Mainstreet Bistro, or just Concetta's, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, because having to rebrand and all of that is just why.
It's hard.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard. It's very hard, and it's hard to get people to accept the new brand or the new name. So as I said, I was hoping the Concetta's name would get smaller and smaller and smaller, but instead it got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Bigger and bigger.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? It's okay. It's what we are.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing.
So you kind of already talked about this, about why you chose this as your profession, but it seems like perhaps maybe it was a second kind of profession. Did you have something before this?
Oh yeah, I'm a businessman from the beginning. My father owned a liquor store, and I went into the liquor business with him as a young man, and I ended up buying him out, and I was in that business for almost 20 years. And then I became a contractor and did a lot of wallpapering and painting and stuff like that. So I was a jack of all trades. But the key point of this whole thing was that when we had children, I needed to have a more stable job. So I took a job as a warehouse manager for Metropolitan Bath and Tile Company down in Upper Marlboro. Well, needless to say, the commute was killer. And I did that for many, many years after we moved up here. So in 2008, and after I'd been making that commute for almost 6 years, I saw Judy had put the store on sale for sale, and it said Turnkey Operation Deli, which was the only deli in downtown was Concetta. So I went in there and we talked, and my midlife crisis wasn't cheating on my wife or a Corvette; it was buying Concettas. So it was a good move too, because I finally got to fill my little fantasy of making food for other people and having people tell me how good it was.
It's always nice to be doing what you love, right?
It's really nice. I wish that things, the way the economy is now and all the other different little inflation and fuel costs and all that stuff, I wish that wasn't a factor, but it keeps you on your toes and keeps you fresh and makes you make sure that you're doing the right thing, not only for your customers, but for yourself as well. Because, if you don't take care of yourself in your store, you're not going to have a store.
This is true. And I think that the experience of living through this past pandemic is like the groundwork for trying to get through this next economic issues that these economic situation that we're in right now. So hopefully we'll all still, and all of our downtown businesses will still come out on top.
Yes, that's all we can hope. We have a really cool, unique little town here, and I think there's nothing but good things in the future.
So what wakes you up in the morning besides having to get to the store to cook?
I guess my motivation is to, I'm getting a little older now. I'm 62 now, and my motivation is just to be happy and enjoy what I do and try not to let the everyday things get you down, which is kind of hard to do once in a while when, everyone throws dirt in your face. You kind of want to be like, oh, I give up, but you don't, and you don't get to be this age by being, short-sighted or stupid. And I feel like that my best years are ahead of me, and I'm hoping the next 3 or 4 years, at least it will long my lease last, I'll be here in Concetta's and making everyone's hunger go away, hopefully. Yeah.
Making us enjoy those meatball heroes and my favorite cookies.
Boy, you and those cookies.
Well, I know. I have a thing. If somebody were to interview me, I'd tell you all about my thing with the rainbow cookies. But this isn't about me. It's about you. So we'll focus on that. So what was it like when you first opened your doors in Mount Airy?
Very well. Yeah, I bought was an established business. Although she didn't do a whole lot of business, unfortunately. She, as a wonderful idea she had, she wasn't a great businesswoman, so she didn't have credit cards. and she didn't have a couple of things that you normally would find in any kind of like takeout place. So the first thing I did obviously was try to make things, being a businessman, make things right, make it as easy for my customers to buy things when they came in here. The second thing was to adopt the things I knew would work and to get rid of the things I knew didn't work. And so it was kind of a learning experience, because for a good example of those Italian cookies, of which the rainbow cookies are in the same class, I personally, there's a couple of them I like, but I thought they were what I call grandma cookies. Okay. Oh Lord, I was wrong. I let them run out, and boy, oh boy, was I wrong. It's one of my best sellers, and they're brought down fresh, as you know, from Brooklyn, at least once a month, if not more. And so it's one of my attractions. Actually, it's one of the things you can't get anywhere else. So there's some things I thought I knew all this. I really only knew that much, but now after 14 years, I know that much now.
Yeah. You grow and you learn, right?
And you do learn, and you learn every day.
So, what has surprised you the most about owning your own business and owning your own restaurant specifically? Because I think
being a former business owner, nothing really surprises me, because I was in a liquor store for quite a while, so I saw a lot of weird behavior. Nothing horrible. I wasn't in the hood or anything, but so being in this business is a different type of retail. Okay, so for instance, in the liquor business, you buy a case of Jack Daniels, it can sit in your basement forever until you sell it, right? Well, you can't buy a case of lettuce and stick it in your basement. So everything has to be done fresh. And I'm not a big guy for freezing things. Some things I do have to bring in frozen, but we're really locavores. So what we do is we try to get as much fresh stuff as we can. Wagner's Meats is one of my biggest vendors. Nils Farm Market, when they are in season, he's another one of my huge vendors. And even my major food distributor, Salvo Products, they are in Elkridge. So I try to keep most things within the Maryland area as much as I can. And that being said, I try to offer a menu that no one else offers. And so whether it be, steak and eggs or a meatball sub or literally the best Italian cold cut around, because I grew up in Wheaton and there's a place called Marchone's in Wheaton, and everyone comes tell me that mine is as good as Marchone's. And some of the Marchone's used to come to my restaurant to buy my sub. So that was a little verification for me.
Well, that must make you feel really good.
It really did make me feel very good. So, but again, it goes back to the motivation. So the motivation more than anything is it's really fun. Someone comes in and says, that's the best Reuben I've ever had. And then you come in, hear it again the next day, and you're like, wow, we're really doing something right. And that gives you the boost that you need to keep going.
I can completely understand that, on a different level in a different industry.
Of course.
When somebody tells you that what you're doing is right, that only wants you to, makes you want to do it more, do whatever you're doing again, over and over again.
Exactly.
So what do you think that your customers love most about Concetta's and also the business model that you offer?
I think they do like our menu, because although we have our standards, we do vary it a lot, and we have a lot of different specials. The second thing is we have a really neat little area right here. I have a patio next to me, and it's under the trees, and we have umbrellas and bistro tables. And so I think the ambiance is a big deal too. But this is something that Concetta's has always offered that no one else has, is this experience, a one-on-one. I would say a good portion of my customers know me by name, and I know a good portion of my customers by name. And that means a lot. I know when I go someplace and they remember my name, it makes me feel special. It makes me feel like, wow, he does appreciate my business. So I always try to do that. And the bantering, the talking, the joking around, that was really, you can't find that anywhere else in Mount Airy. You can't. And I go to restaurants in Mount Airy, and it's like, we try to, anyone who comes in here, we tell them, you need to be able to say, hey, welcome to Concetta's. How can we help you? And then from there, everything will take the lead, because then the people are feeling welcome and they will engage you.
Yeah, I can definitely vouch for that, Jeff, because I go directly to you when I want to order something special. So I don't actually pick up the phone and call your store or the manager. I just go directly to you. So
and
you
I have that relationship with a lot of people in town too. A lot. And I feel like I've developed that, so you don't feel bad about calling me directly. As a matter of fact, tomorrow will be, when people see this, it won't be tomorrow, but we're sponsoring State Farm, the car safety seat.
The car seat, yeah.
Yeah, we've done that every year. We've fed the guys who do the safety seats, but the last 2 years we weren't able to, but we're starting to do that again. And so Sherry and I have a really nice relationship. Dave Regal and I have a great relationship. I could go on and on and on in town, you know. So,
that's wonderful.
The mayor ate his favorite muffalata sub in here today. It's just sooner or later, everyone makes it to Concetta's.
That's wonderful. I think that's awesome that you have a great relationship with everybody that's around you. And we have a lot of businesses that have been downtown for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. Because for a long time, we had a lot of turnover. So it's really nice to see that everybody stayed through the pandemic and now hopefully through the next couple of years. So
fingers crossed.
Yeah. So with that, where do you see yourself in the next 2, 5, 10 years with Concetta's?
Well, I can say for pretty good certainty, at least in the next couple of years, I think my lease is up until 2026. So that's 4 years. So I see myself here. After that, I would have to see the business profile at that point, reevaluate, see how my landlord is, see how my business model is holding up over time. And again, at that point, God willing, I'll be 66. It might be time to move on. But in 10 years from now, I hope to be somewhere maybe cooking for somebody else, but maybe not having all the stuff of being an owner coming down my way anymore. I've been doing it for a long time. I've been working since I was 16 years old. So I'm hoping to maybe take it easy sometime. But again, coming to Concetta's is sometimes my therapy. It's really a good thing. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel welcome. And I have a great time talking to my patrons. I really do.
That's really awesome, because we all think we just want to retire at a certain age and do this, or this, but you see that being like your therapy, like you just said, like that. Yes, that's exactly. Awesome. Yeah. What, I know that you have a couple of daughters, right?
I do. Yes.
Right. And so do they have any interest in like dragging on the Concetta's name or anything like that?
Yeah, the word drag would probably be the most appropriate because neither one of them have that interest, unfortunately. Okay. My one daughter, Trudy, just moved to Massachusetts and is going to get her master's in education, so she'll be teaching up there. And my daughter, Ivy, just accepted a job with an up-and-coming company in the Mount Airy, Newmarket region, and so she is currently living with me, but we'll be moving out, I'm sure, pretty soon. Wow. And so, yeah, it's nice. I mean, they do help out when they had to, around, but it's not there. It really is my passion. It really is my thing. And I'd be lying to say I wish one of them picked it up, but, sometimes it just doesn't happen that way.
Well, I bet you they love when you cook for them anyway. And
they do. There were some perks about your dad being able to have a commercial kitchen and bring food home, So yeah, there's definitely some perks.
I love their names, Ivy and Trudy. They're so old fashioned, names that you don't hear anymore. You don't.
And my wife, may she rest in peace, she was Catholic and I'm Jewish, and we were big about using names from deceased relatives, So if Ivy had been a boy, it could have been Irvin, and she would have hated that. And Trudy is named after Ginger's grandmother, Gertrude, but I couldn't give her the name Gertrude on her birth certificate. So it's truly Trudy. But yeah, and they're twins, but they're fraternal. And if you didn't even know, you wouldn't even know they were sisters. But all that being said, they make me so proud, and that is also one of my major motivations.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that story. Yeah, and another reason why I can relate to you so much because my husband's Jewish and I'm Italian, so
exactly.
That's how.
So we're the same, except for one major thing. We won't talk about that.
No, we won't talk about that. Okay. Well, Jeff, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great to learn more about the history of Concetta's and your family and how it all began. And thank you so much for being a strong voice for our downtown business community.
Thank you, Donna Marie. I really appreciate that. And I look to you for inspiration because you really do a lot for this town. And I hope everyone out there realizes that this is not something that you have to do. And this is something you do out of your own time and out of your own love for the town. So I thank you personally.
Well, I do appreciate that. And if you wanted to take this opportunity to let our audience know how to reach you directly or on the social networks or anything else information you want to provide for them?
Sure. Okay, so we're Concetta's Mainstreet Bistro. We're located in the old Firehouse Building, 231 South Main Street. We're open 6 days a week, Tuesday through Sunday. The hours are 8 to 3 every day. We specialize in all-day breakfast, homemade meatball subs, the best cold cut you can get around here, and a plethora of different things you've never seen on another menu. My website is concettasmainstreet.com. My email is jeff@concettas.comcastbiz.net. And our phone number is 301-829-7571. We accept online orders. And if you can't get through on online, just give us a call instead. Sometimes it goes down, sometimes we turn it off. Anyway, we're here to serve you. And we also specialize in custom catering. So it could be for a party of 2, small charcuterie board to go out to one of the vineyards, or we've done weddings up to 200. So we're here to serve the town. And I thank you all for listening, and come see us at Concetta's.
That is awesome. Thank you for that additional information about the fact that you actually do that kind of catering for that many people. I actually didn't even know that.
Yeah, we do everything in between. Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in and to our Talk of the Town series. And if you have a business in town, or you're a local leader and would like to be featured here, reach out to me. Once again, I'm Donna Marie Needle, Realtor with Northrop Realty, and you can reach me directly at 301-466-3086 or donnamarie@northroprealty.com. And thank you, Jeff, again, and hope everyone has a great day. Thanks.